and gentlemen. Welcome to the 7-Figure Fashion Business Podcast,
where we talk about the fashion industry and how to get your fashion business to 7 figures.
From manufacturing strategies, cut and sew designers, to fashion hot topics and the latest fashion trends, I'm your host, Monica Monique.
And I'm your host, XYZeee. And let's jump into today's episode.
So in part 1, you guys, we had NIA kind of do a updated catch up of what she's been, not even what you've been up to, really just a backstory of our relationship situation and really kind of a conversation about different people's love language, I would say.
Right.
But now in part 2, we're actually going to talk about the fashion hot topics. Like, how has your fashion experience been? What happened after high school with your fashion brand, when you started your brand, your experience doing all these fashion shows that you've done, all that. But before we get into that, y'all have to say hello, because y'all haven't said hello yet.
Yeah. Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast.
Welcome back. Thank you for having me.
Little sis on the ones and twos.
Period.
So what's been going on? What happened? So after we stopped talking, you still ventured into fashion.
Most definitely.
So after high school, how did you start your fashion career?
Just once I left, I still just was doing it. I know through my high school career, I had my brand, my business online. So I just kept doing that, like playing around with stuff until my boyfriend at the time and my best friend gifted me a sewing machine. So once I got that, I just took off with like cutting up stuff, like starting off really upcycling a lot of things. Started my YouTube channel doing that. And I did do like through the pandemic, I did like a lot of raffles, a lot of sneaker customs, artwork. Like I was just playing around with my artwork. But during that abusive relationship I was in, I kind of slowed down. And I didn't start picking up again with my fashion until I'll say 2021, that following year. But since then, like, that's when I stopped smoking. I went through all those things, you know, leaving an abusive relationship. It was a lot that happened between that too. But I ended up joining a church and just got more focused to be able to create. Like, I was in a mental capacity to create. So
The sneakers and the paintings and stuff, did you start that in high school or was that after?
yeah, I actually did. I started that in high school. Bless. I had did my first sneaker customs, I'll say, my junior year for a friend. And it was kind of like come and go. And then I think I did one for like, I was just doing it for people in school, like guys in school that needed their sneaker customs or wanted it, right? I did it for that. But yeah, I didn't really start doing it until 2020. Everybody had money. Pandemic was crazy. So I would just, I remember I was just buying. Well, no, I didn't buy them. This actually T. I don't know if I should put it on here, but he not watching it, so I don't know. But as we all know, like George Floyd, and rest in peace to George Floyd, but during that time, there was like a lot of looting and stuff going on. And this is a crazy story, but this is why my stuff gonna be in the museum. Because my ex at the time, he ended up looting all these sneaks for me.
Crop this out.
I'm not saying no names though.
They're plotting on those videos still.
No, they not worried about them shoes. Them shoes is gone. People are still riding on them to this day, but
Lord.
He had like looted a couple pairs for me, and I was just in my hustle mood, like customizing it, selling it. And I still have a pair to this day that I'm gonna hold close to my heart. So when it's time for the museum, I'm gonna put it up because at the end of the day, they're fire sneaks. But the only reason I couldn't sell them is because he looted 2 different sizes. So one was 10 and the other was 10 and a half. So it was off.
Oh, like the foot.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was the only pair. But mind you, those was, in my opinion, the most fire pair I made. Still have them in my little case. Like, it's not a glass case, but it's a case, like a clear case. And like I just tell myself, like, when I make it and I'm a multimillionaire and how they have their stuff in the exhibit, I'm gonna put that in there because it's a part of history and it's art. So I'm gonna put that in there. But I just say, like, during that time, I really was hustling. I started doing phone cases. Anything I got my hands on, I would just customize. And at that time, I wasn't really on my sewing machine. So I was really playing around at that time with just random items opposed to cutting and sewing.
Yeah. What do you feel like your fashion style is? Because I feel like it's a lot of hand painted artwork on different mediums. So denim, sweatshirts, but then also art, like painting on a canvas. So what do you describe like your fashion brand as?
Definitely avant-garde. And that's like a Parisian term for like one of a kind, like unique. So I feel like I have so many realms in me that I haven't tapped into, being as though like that's why I feel like higher education is so important, because I just know what the more I learn, the more I tap into. Like the more techniques and things I dive into, the more I realize there's no limit. So whereas though before, I definitely say I was definitely urban streetwear, played around with a lot of denim and stuff. Now that I'm learning more and I'm doing more cutting, so I'm doing more couture. Like this recent piece I just did called Unwritten. Like that was a cut and sew gown, but then I did the technique of hand painting, and I also did a technique of just burning, like taking a satin and burning each piece to come up with that like look, to have that look to it. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't put my brand in a box. So I would just say it's all around unique, like avant-garde, out the box. Like if I could compare, I don't like to compare, but if I could like make a like allude, I would probably say like Elsa Schiaparelli. I love her work.
Well, we all love Schiaparelli.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Schiaparelli, Victor and Rolf.
Like them too.
Those type of brands, definitely Chanel too, but Chanel is more like clean cut. Their look is more clean with like, it depends on, they kind of go back and forth, but the start of it, like where it was founded, it was definitely more like conservative clean look to it. But as far as that, I would definitely say that like a Schiaparelli, like Victor and Rolf, all those people that you look at, that's like, even in the most recent people, like what's the name? Kind of like Off-White, they do a little like different things, and I can't think of the name now, but he was recently on. He works with a lot of color. Like every time I see his work, I know it's him.
I feel like those people do a lot more evening wear though. I don't know if you do a lot of evening wear. From what I've seen on your page, I've seen a lot of like hoodies, tops, denim.
Yeah.
So I think your avant-garde is more into everyday wear than evening wear. Am I correct in saying that? Or because like the gown that you just made was the first time that I ever seen you do a gown with your style of hand painting on it.
Yeah, that was definitely like a different design, but I do a lot of, I don't post that on my page. I do more so like the gowns and stuff, like when I'm doing shows. So there's actually a lot of pieces that I haven't put up there, unless you could tell, as far as though like looking at my collection full, like walking down a runway on different models. But like I said, I wouldn't put it in a box. Like if you were to go off of what I post, you could definitely read me and say like, oh, she does more everyday or more couture streetwear. But I wouldn't put myself in a box. I feel like I'm just honestly just getting started as to where as though like what I want to do and how I want to classify myself. I still have yet to know, because I feel like there's just so much I have to learn, and like as I go up and as I learn more techniques, there's just so much more that I want to do. So much more designs I want to bring to life.
What's been your experience working with customers?
Oh yeah, that's interesting. That's a good question.
Clients and stuff.
Yeah.
Honestly, really good. If I could say anything, it definitely matured me in the area of entrepreneurship and just being an entrepreneur. Through the clients and stuff I've had, it's just taught me how to systemize. Like I've been blessed. I can't say I've had any super crazy stories of people like doing crazy stuff. More so, God has blessed me to bring people in my life to teach me structure. So like where I used to grace people being late and stuff, people wouldn't show up. No call, no show. And when I would grace like, oh, you could wait, I'll let you have this piece, and It's already paid for and everything, but waiting for pictures, no. Those just like little things.
What you mean? Waiting for pictures? What are you talking about?
So like there's been so many people that have like brought things from me and I wouldn't get pictures for months later.
That's just the cycle of
Right.
life. Yeah, that's the business.
But that's what I'm saying. Like,
do you have it written in a contract that they're required to send you pictures?
no, but like, let me not use that. But like that too, like now, it's just little things that I say, like in entrepreneurship. So like learning, take pictures, learning you have to have a system when people are late, learning 50% up front and 50% when it's done, and having that price point as to where as though, well, if it's below a certain amount, I'm gonna need all of that right now. And just, does this piece, should I include fabric in the price, or should I allow you to get the fabric? Or like giving myself time, and should I give myself, if I think this dress gonna take 2 weeks to make, should I allow myself 3, or should I do this or do that? And just more so learning as far as like learning myself. So like I can't say any crazy stories, but I'll definitely say through the people that I worked with and through like the clients and dresses I work with, just growing as an entrepreneur, knowing how to do stuff, when to do stuff, more so like that, timing and all of that stuff. Just learning myself and how much it takes to make something, or how much it takes me for turnover time, and you know, just things like that. How many fittings do I need? It's a lot of clients that I feel as though I don't think I've ever botched anybody super crazy, but there was definitely clients as to where I felt as though next time I need to implement more fittings, because this didn't fit right as to where it could have if I've implemented more fittings with the time I had. Next time, give myself more time, because I only gave this person 2 weeks. I let this person come last minute when I needed more time, so the dress didn't come out this way. It's just doing things like technique wise. So
Learn it on your own.
Yeah, because I have no like I didn't have nobody really to look up to as far as that. Well, like obviously you, but at that.
No, but I mean, in this time, I thought you had the girl, Alicia.
Well, that was more so. See, now that was when I was in an abusive relationship. So I was doing that one off. It was kind of like one off thing, and I was more so of her mentee as for where I was assisting. So it wasn't as hands on. Now she's giving me great opportunities, but it wasn't as hands on as
for you to learn technique.
Yeah, it wasn't technique learning. It was like assist with me for this movie, assist with me for this photo shoot. Like it was more so assistant work, which still taught me a lot too. But it wasn't like sitting down and technique and like, this and this.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Price wise, like, or just having a business and being able to live off that business, like being able to afford your car note, or an apartment, or just really living off of the money made from your company. Have you ever gotten to that point where you felt like your business or your brand was good enough to just lean on that?
Yes, multiple times, but I feel like it was more so me out of pride of working and learning. Like things were, when things was coming fast, they were, and when they were coming slow, they were. But I feel like at the ages that I was, and that's why I feel like it's always so hard for me to find a job now, because everybody looks at my resume and they go, why were you not working for 2 years? And then why were you not working for this 1 year? Because at those times, I was making a way. And I don't have...
Why don't you put your brand on your resume?
I do, but they're like, you know, when you jobs and things like that, they don't really look at that as like, they want to see experience as to where you're in the workforce versus...
It's a job. How is it
right?
Just let me see it.
But
I'm like, how is it worded on your resume where it doesn't look like a job?
No, it's a job for sure. But once they know it's your business, they're looking at it more so, what have you done in the workforce outside of what you do when you're with your LLC? So it was always like that, because I want to say 2020 definitely wasn't working. 2021 wasn't, like I was, but it was only 2-3 months or 4 months at the max. Like I think the longest job I've ever worked at most recently was 9 months.
Well, all right, let's talk a little bit about that because I truly believe the way you work for other people is the way you're going to work for yourself. So, what happened or what goes on between these different jobs where are you quitting? Are you being let go? Like, why is it 4 months and then 9 months or whatever?
Well, some was seasonal. Like I said, I was definitely in that pride stage of just trying to get money to build my business and then trying to do it on my own and then fall back into that, I need money and then go again. I think I got fired from one job and it was ShopRite. And that was because I was just playing around too much. That was coming out of high school at that time. So that was like 2019, right before COVID. No, COVID had just started. So I was 19, but it was 2020. But other than that, just like I said, it more so like just thinking I could do it all on my own, having that pride of like, I'm leaving. Like, I don't need this job. Like, I had that. I'm just now getting into the mindset as to where it's like, no, like, you're going to allow yourself to work. You're going to maintain excellence. Like, for sure, 2023, I had that mindset of excellence. Like, before, when it was, what can you do for me? It was operate as into, I'm going to do this for you and I'm going to serve as to how I would want someone to serve in my business. So I'll definitely say for sure, summer 2023 is when I changed my mindset from a little girl to a grown woman. Like, not only, this job is paying me money and they're paying me for my time, but while I'm there is what I do in my time. So most definitely, like, just to answer your question, it was very much so just pride. Like, I wasn't doing the worst things, but as to where someone could say, oh, I'm not picking it up, or I'm not doing this, to where someone could say that, like, I was that girl. Like, I'm not gonna give my best. I felt as though I didn't have to give my best. Now,
So you didn't have to do what was in the job description?
I felt as though that. Not to 100%. I felt as though I could give 80 some days, or depending on how I'm feeling, I give 50. But like, as far as showing up with the intentionality, like, no matter how I feel, I'm operating excellence. I did not start doing that until 2023.
Interesting. Okay.
2023. I'll say that.
Yeah. Do you feel like in your brand, the way you operated for other people, if you hired somebody to work for your brand and they operated the way you operated for them, you feel like that would be disrespectful? Like, you hire a girl to work for your company, right? You hire her to, I don't know, wash or dye the fabrics, to burn the silk or prep your station or whatever. And she does some of it, but not all of it, because she just don't feel like it. Like, how would you, and you're paying her every hour. How would you?
Well, definitely from my past, if you asking me from my past, what I just explained, that would be very disrespectful. But as far as like my change of heart and how I operate now, I'm not a perfect person. But if I had someone that operates like me now, most definitely, I would want her to work for me.
Okay.
Most definitely.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Because I operate like I'm very intentional. Like, if I can explain myself and describe myself, I'm intentional. And I try my best to operate out of excellence. So therefore, I am excellent. I'm not perfect, but I definitely do the best that I can with my business and other people's business, and just how I work, how I show up, and just my posture. So I would hire me.
Other jobs, did you learn anything?
For sure.
Like, from, like, business-wise, like,
for sure.
in your entrepreneurship?
I didn't start, well, you learn as you grow and as you go, no matter what and however you act. But I didn't start to really realize it until I changed my mindset of, I'm going to operate in excellence. And it just, in some jobs where other people taught me what to do, other environments taught me what not to do. Because once I started operating excellence, I saw how everybody else don't care. Like, everybody else is not on my mindset. Everybody else is not on my type time. So as far as cleanliness and how people show up and integrity and people lying or people doing this or people doing that, like, even when I'm wrong, I hate it and I be beating myself up. But like, if I'm running late or if I'm doing this, I told myself, like, at that time, like, you're going to tell them exactly why you're late. You're going to tell them exactly what's going on, no matter if you're wrong, no matter if you do need to do better, just certain things like that. Like, I noticed even in the area of management, there's a lot of managers out there that are not integral. It's a lot of managers out there that don't carry it how they're supposed to in the area of managing. And yeah, it just taught me a lot, but more so in my business, it taught me a lot of integrity. That's a lot of workforces are missing integrity because it's each his own. Because at the end of the day, where you have some people like me believing in God, because I believe God and my walk with God plays a huge role in how I change my heart. But also me knowing that I am a millionaire, I'm a multimillionaire. I see myself as this woman. So my mindset is different. I understand I have to change. So I understand everybody's not coming in the job saying, oh, I got this to look forward to, so let me change now. So it's just like, I just see in the workforce is a lot of lack of integrity. A lot of people just doing the bare minimum for the bare minimum.
There's a lot wrong with the workplace.
Yeah, and it's a lot wrong with how these companies treat the workers.
Yeah, I'm happy I worked jobs though, because like that was a part of the process, and like I understand why God put me in them situations, but like working at the jobs, they're
right.
I would never think
people
that
too.
I just would never think like you being professional. I don't know. I think I'm going to something super professional, and then when you get there, it's like this is a terrible
total
establishment.
opposite. That's what I'm saying. People don't hold themselves to. They don't operate out of excellence. Once you start doing something, you realize how many people not doing it.
Yeah, I was about to say, and it's an environment with a whole bunch of different people. I mean, people from different environments coming into all into one environment. So like management do have to be strict, or like I know you need people to work, but it got to be like a system or something, because you got to know that somebody's going to come in and not give 100%. They're going to give 50, or like somebody going to come in with a negative mindset, or it's a lot. Jobs are, I think jobs are just.
I think it depends on where you work too, like or who you work for.
Yeah,
because small business is different than big business.
Mm-hmm.
You know, working for, I'm trying to think of an example, a hospital is different than working for a restaurant, or working for Google is different than working for a smaller tech company. I think your work environment is really conducive to the leaders of the company, how big or small that team is, and the person who's managing the team, I think, because I've had managers who were great and really just kind of set the bar for these things need to be done today. Like, for example, I always say I think Macy's was a really good job experience for me. I worked there for 4 years. And I think the company itself has so much already set out where you could not know what you were supposed to be doing every day. Like, they started every morning with a meeting of everybody in the whole entire store. It was a 3-floor, the Center City one.
I think that's important.
A 3-floor building. Everybody from every floor had to come to the center main floor for a morning meeting.
Yeah.
And then even like their system as far as training new employees was a video system. You had to do that for like 2 weeks. Every day you had to go in and watch these videos and take a quiz after that. And I think training is a big part of the way your employees act once they get the job. And I also think the way you train people and the way you act in that environment, the way you lead in certain situations, especially when difficult situations come up, is going to reflect in how your coworkers respond to you, or subordinates, employees, your manager, like whatever level you are, the way different people react in those situations is going to be a ripple effect. So luckily, I don't think there's been anything in my store I don't think it's been any situation where the employees or coworkers have reacted in a negative way to a customer being negative. Like, I can't think of any time. I think everybody who I've had work in my store, like, I've never had anybody work in my store, like, flip out on a customer or act crazy. Like, can y'all remember a time of anybody?
No.
I feel like you said something, but that person was here for like a day. I think you're just like, well, I don't like how she talked to customers, so I'm not gonna bring her back.
Oh.
I don't know who, but I remember you said it.
Okay. Yeah, I don't remember. But there's nothing on your screen. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, so I haven't really seen that. So I think luckily the young women and older women who have worked in my store have never disrespected a customer who was being disrespectful. We've had customers who have been disrespectful or come in with attitude or trying to fight or argue or get a price lower or whatever. But I've never had an employee reflect what the customer attitude was. So that's been really good. And I don't think I have ever either.
Yeah, because it's a reflection of you. It's a reflection of you.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that work for a lot of prestigious or quote unquote like a lot of big corporations and stuff that don't represent what the company stand for. And it's like when the head is not good, whatever happens at the head falls down. And I just, the jobs I worked at, I can only say for myself is a lot of people that did not represent, and therefore everyone under them acted accordingly as to the leader.
I was going to say designers. There's a lot of designers who pop off on the internet. Like, they respond to their customers with the attitude that the customer is giving.
Yeah.
And I'm just
they
like,
setting bad
that's
examples
crazy.
for the new designers coming in and the designers now. I don't like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why we gotta go hard with the
You don't like it? Because I feel like you be like,
I feel like
did
we
you
do
see
gotta
this?
go harder though.
Well, I just literally I watch it because they're designers.
I don't watch it. I can't even see. I think it's an environmental thing. I can't even invite that energy into my atmosphere.
Well, I unfollowed.
Yeah, to each their
Well, I
own.
unfollowed, but I recently followed the other person because they had a good prom season. But definitely watching his live, I thought like that is not the way
you
watched it.
Oh. But I think I know who you talking about. We'll talk about it. It's like we ain't name dropping, but
Right.
I was like, no, that's not the way you do it.
yeah. And we do need to go hard because there's a lot of people out here that's excellent. Everybody has a talent. God gifts are without repentance. So everybody knows how to do something and knows how to do it well. But it's more than that. Like, I'm big on character and doing everything with a purpose. So it's definitely for us to go harder because
But I think
we
those
could be a light.
toxic people, like they can take the toxic customers.
Yeah, we could be a light. But also, not only that, but it's like people are toxic because they don't see, like, they never had nobody to check them and show them how business is
Y'all
ran.
lying. That sentence
What?
is the problem.
What?
She said, what did you just say?
They never had nobody to check them.
And show them right from wrong. So they got somebody that's meeting them. They going to low. They got somebody willing to go to hell. They never work with somebody that's going to show them a higher standard that'll really challenge them to change. Not to say they will change, but
yeah, people be
you're not even
letting. I think that's what I was talking about earlier.
being an
People
example.
be letting you be your bad self.
Yeah. Like, what if these people with these huge platforms and these big rooms with these big people, instead of cursing people out, they showing people ratchet, however they're treating them, showing them, this is my standard, this is how I operate, this is how we do excellence. And people look up to that. Now, everybody's not going to change because some people are just wicked, flat out. Yeah. Some people just don't want to change. But then there's some people that grew up that way and they just don't know. And
I think if you... Oh my God! Do you have eyeballs?
No, I feel like
people aren't.
I think that this is crazy to say that people an adult doesn't know better. You have eyes. You have seen how other people. You are not aware that other businesses don't act like that.
No, I really sat with some people in circles. Like, people mindsets are really corrupt, and a lot of people. They have not changed from their childhood. I know you said like an adult, they have not like healed, or some people are really out of it.
But I think maybe they also haven't read a book. They also haven't watched, I don't know, any Oprah Winfrey or any therapy shows or any
or read the Bible.
You never sought to be a better person. You never tried. You never been in any environment ever where people didn't act like that. I don't think that makes sense to me.
But that's the reality, though.
That's
some people are
crazy.
Really
that's the reality.
Corrupt.
You never been okay. So let's say that person been to the doctor. You didn't notice how in the doctor's office everybody was calm? Nobody beat up nobody?
Right, but some people so stuck in their ways as to where...
And look at what's being plastered on social media, too.
Yeah, they know their difference, but they don't look at it as wrong.
The Shade Room is, like...
You shouldn't be following places like the Shade Room.
But they're probably one of the top Instagram accounts followed in the world. Justin LeBoy is probably the same thing, but look at what they put out. They put out toxic stuff. And then social media is the place where like people spend time scrolling on their phone. So everybody think is right.
But it's a fake world. It's not the real world. Like us sitting here in this room, this is the real world.
People apply it to their real life and really
go
out and do it.
Yeah. I can't be a part of that. I think I'm very aware that this is not real when I scroll on social media. Like, I'm highly aware that this is not a reflection of what the world is like when I walk outside. Mm-hmm. And I think it's crazy to me that some people think that is a reflection.
Yeah. A lot of people, not even some.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know. I think, ignorance must be bliss. Cause that's wild.
There's a lot of ignorant people that lack wisdom.
Do you feel like, because I know you said you applied, Nia, to London?
Parsons and Paris.
Paris.
Parsons, Paris.
And what do you feel like is next? Because you said you wasn't going to go that route because they didn't accept your portfolio, but you might audition again later, or?
Yeah, I'll definitely try again. I don't take no for an answer. So I'm definitely going to just do better, go harder, and try again. But also just not putting all my eggs in one basket. Definitely leaving more options open. That's still my number one and what I want to do. But yeah, I'll definitely try again and see.
Yeah, that's good.
And no other school routes in the meantime?
Definitely I'm looking. Just trying to get into a place as to where I can learn something. Doesn't have to be a full-on curriculum or course, but just as I'm in a room learning something, being a student. So that's what I'm looking for right now. Nothing too specific. I don't really have my heart set on anything as of right now, but I'm definitely looking, still searching.
Okay. Well, I know we're running out of time, so should we end the episode here?
Yeah, I guess about that time.
Anybody got any intake on today?
Yeah, what Z, let's start with you. What do you take away from this episode or these past 2 episodes?
I'm excited.
I feel like you say that every time, every episode.
I'm excited. I'm happy to be around this energy in this environment. Happy to have you back. Hopefully, I'm excited to see where your career goes. I'm excited that you came on the podcast and you guys talked. You've grown a lot. I'm happy to see that. And I like hearing your journey because, I feel like you had similar experiences for me that I did. So you're getting through it. You're getting through the fashion designer world.
Right.
And I'm excited for Nini more.
Period. Thank you.
What about you?
Yeah, I'm happy that I'm back. It's humbling. It's definitely honor. I'm definitely honored because people don't get this experience and people don't get this grace. People don't get this forgiveness. Mm. So I do thank you for your forgiveness in front of witnesses, right? No, but I do thank you. And it's just an honor. And I thank God, all glory be to God, because I really believe, the scripture says, it says, I will restore unto you the time that was lost, the years that it says in the Bible, the cankerworms and the palmer worms have eaten. It said, I will restore those times unto you. So I just thank God, and I look at it as restoration because, like I said, some people, they are forgiven, but they don't get let back in. So for this time in my life to be welcomed in and to be loved and even to share this space with y'all, because I didn't have to be in this capacity with y'all. So I do appreciate that. And it's just an honor. Like, I really am honored. I'm humbled. And I'm grateful to be back and be back wiser, more mature, more older, and just having a better mindset of what I want to do. Like 18-year-old Nia always knew that I'm a millionaire and what I wanted to do. But 23-year-old Nia knows this is how I want to get there. And this is what I want to do on my way there. So I'm happy now that I'm back and better, like literally like back and better and more mature and just more focused and more centered within myself.
Yeah. I feel like my takeaway is similar to both of y'all's. Like, I'm happy that the environment exists. You know, I feel like I always try to create spaces for young Black women, especially in the fashion industry, to have a group to call their own. I feel like me growing up in the fashion industry, or me being in high school and me being in college, I didn't have any Black women, young women, old women, like, to talk to, or everybody was Indian, Asian, white, that were my people who I went to. So I always knew that when I graduated college and when I got to an age where I had enough money to open a store or create that environment, that I would be able to create it. So I am grateful that, you know, seeing you two and like me thinking of all the other young Black girls who have been in my space, that I am doing what I set out to do. So I think that that's a beautiful thing. Am I taking away forgiveness? You know, it's so strong. You know, I mean, I feel like I forgave you back then. I don't feel like the forgiveness is new. I feel like I forgave you back then. I just didn't accept you back into my life at that time. But I do feel like I am happy that you are back around. I'm sad to hear all the things that you had to go through in your life. You know, I really am disheartened that you had to go through certain things in order to get to where you are today. But I know everybody's journey is different.
Definitely a testimony, I'll say.
I was literally about to say that.
Yeah.
That's a part of it.
And God is allowing, like, there's more. Like, I don't know if y'all know, but I'm also like a mentor to young girls through a Fathership Foundation.
I didn't know what, but I've seen it. That's good.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw it.
And I'm actually working on, I won't speak on more of that now, but I'm working on just going further and doing more, because I know I have books in me. It's a lot more that I won't speak on a podcast because of the graphics and things like that. But, you know, it's a lot of stuff that I went through that no one still knows, you know, that I'm trying to present it in a way as to where it can help more than hurt. Because I don't want to dishearten people or make people feel necessarily sympathy. I know you will feel it, but I want to help. Like I said, I want to tell my story to help, not tell my story to see this is where I want to go. This is what I went through. I want to use it as a testimony to show girls, like, you can come from this and you can go through this and still end up on top. And how much, like, to each his own, but the power of God and how much really tapping into a relationship with him and knowing him and how that could really change your life. So it's a lot that I went through, but I know that God is using that so I can help a lot of young girls. Because just like you said, like, although people should know, people don't. And there's a lot of women out here and men that are ignorant, and then they're having children that grow up in ignorance with no choice.
Yeah.
And I know I'm called to those children, and they're not bad. It's just like, you know how you grow and you do what you know, and that's not always right. So I'm just trying to be a light, and I'm not perfect. I know as I go through more, I'm just trying to utilize myself as that example. Like Beanie Siegel said, I go through it so you wouldn't do it after me. And I really live by that though. Like, all the stuff I do, just being vulnerable and showing people, like, I did do this and I did do that. And it's embarrassing. I don't like to say it, but I know that it's helping other women and showing, like, if she did this, then I could get through it, or she been through this, I could
I
get
think
through
you
it.
just don't even know that you at 23 is still a baby. Like
Yeah.
you have so much more.
That's what I say. I know.
to go through to teach. Like what you have gone through is a lot, but it's not anything compared to the next 20 years.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to be a journey. So hopefully the first 20 taught you enough that you can go through the second 20
Right.
a little bit wiser. But tell the people where they can find you.
You can find me on Instagram at NINI.AMOR, 2 E's. That's Nini Amore. My business page, official Nia Moore, straight out. So official NIAMORE. And if you want to follow me on YouTube, it's Nini Amore on YouTube. TikTok is Nini Amore as well. And that is without the E. So the same way, but minus the E.
We're going to have to write this down in
Right.
the description.
Nini Amore on all platforms. And for my business, official Nia Moore.
Now, we're going to end you with our quote, which we always do. Make sure you count your blessings
Before you count your money.
Bye.
Bye.